Well, this could be an interesting video. We've got about 5 pounds of world coins to search through. Hopefully, these haven't been searched. Hey guys, it's Double A Coins and welcome back to the channel. I picked up about 5 pounds of world coins. I paid $10 a pound, so you could do the math, it's $50. But anyways, I'm hoping we find older coins, silver, rare coins, errors, you name it. And these are world coins, and these are my specialties, so I'm hoping that we do well on them. If not, they still be fun to sort through, and I figured I'd make a video out of it. Anyways, let's get this back dumped out, and I'll give you my initial thoughts. Alright, here we go. Yeah, that looks like a whole lot of world coins to me. Anyways, I'm gonna get them sorted, I guess. And I'll give you a periodic updates if I find something cool. If not, I'll just give you a recap. So as you see, it's pretty early in the store. I'm pulling out some of the USA stuff here, some Panamanian stuff, which fun fact, they're actually exchanged 1-to-1 with the USD. So effectively, I've got 3 Canadian, or Panamanian nickels, not Canadian. And these are worth 5 cents each, so I could just put them in my nickel rolls. And then as far as USA stuff, it's like a penny and a couple of quarters, including the absolute worst quarter I've seen to 2022, Wilma Mankiller. I'm also pulling out some of the British half pennies and the 1 penny. See, it's got pretty nice 1909 right there. And then we've got some cooler coins down here and Canadian small cents here, as well as some older coins that are over 100 years old from like the 1900s to, I guess, 1926. But we have our first 1800s world coin, and it's barely legible right here. But as you can see, if the camera could focus, looks like it's in 1879. Spanish 10 centimos, I believe. Yeah, 10 centimos. So that's a very nice find right there. We're adding it to our finds. Right up here, and we'll continue with the sort. Alright, we're about halfway or so through the sort. These are like the older finds, like 1900 through the 20s, I would say, like 1925, 1926. These are the better finds, I would say, or the more interesting ones. And then, we're adding to our UK pennies and half pennies, as well as our Canadian stuff. The stuff I don't want to put in my existing, world coin bin, as I told you. And so far, only 1800s coin is this 1879 Alfonso the 12th 10 centimos from Spain, but it has a friend here. This is going to be a farthing, or 1/4 of a penny from 1865 from Great Britain. I don't know if 1865 is a better year, but I do know for sure we have a second find that's pre-1900. Anyway, let's continue. And if there isn't anything else, I'll give you a recap. Otherwise, I'll bring you in. Alright, we have, it's not been that long after my brought you in, and we have this coin here. It's an 1861 Heller, I believe, from Austria-Hungary. Might as well move that 1865 farthing, because now we have 3 pre-1900 finds on the board, and yeah, we have lots more to go. Alright guys, it's been a few coins later, and I just figured I would show you what we found so far. These are the better type coins. These are these are the older coins, the better coins, and some USA and Panamanian and all that yada yada, some Canadian stuff we're adding. But I'm actually pretty excited about this. I don't know if I should be excited, but take a look at the date on this bad boy right here. 1814. Now 1814, I have no idea what this is. I believe it might be a bank token, a merchant token. Wellington half penny token. I think I've seen a coin like this before. I think this is like a Canadian merchant token, but I'll be right back to give you more information on it. Okay, I did some more research. This is from the Bank of Upper Canada, a merchant token issued in the 1810s. And the value on the coin like this is probably about a $10 coin. You see it's been used a lot. So that's a good thing, but man, that is probably the best find, I would say, of this entire hunt. There could be something to top it, but I highly doubt it. Anyway, let's get back to the sort, and if there isn't anything else, I'll bring you in. Otherwise, I will bring you in if we have something else pre-1900 or if it's silvery. Well, it's been a few minutes, and I think we're gonna have silver right here, guys. Take a look at this. It's got King George the 6 on the obverse, and when I flipped it around, it's a Canadian silver dime from 1947. It does not have the maple leaf, meaning that it was actually struck in 47. The cool thing about the 1947 Canadian dimes is that basically India became independent in 1947, and well, you see, the Royal Mint, they needed new dies, and you see, because on the coin it said that George was the Emperor of India at an imp, but the thing is, now that India had become independent, he wasn't independent. So during 1948, they would make the dies, or like they would put the coins saying that he is Emperor of India, but they would put the day of 1947, put a little maple leaf, implying it was made in 1940. Anyways, it's kind of confusing. I encourage you to look this up yourself. But yeah, a nice little piece of silver. And yeah, we're definitely closing in on the store. I'll bring you in with either another find or a wrap-up. Well, guys, I just noticed this coin right here, and I figured I'd show it to you. This is a Chinese cash coin, right? But I actually already did some research on this, and this coin was minted during the time of Christ, between AD 14 and AD 23. Anyways, it's such a cool find right here, how this coin is over 2,000 years old, so we're definitely putting that well before 1900. And yeah, let's continue on with the sword. So a few coins later, I noticed this coin here looks pretty worn, and as I could tell this is an Ottoman coin. It had the AH date, or Al-Hijri calendar date of 1223, which would be the early 1800s. But the thing is, when I flip it over, it's the exact same. So I think we may have found an Ottoman magic coin. And the cool thing about this is that when people would pay with these, this is, I believe, a 5 par coin, and this is actually silver. Like, if you heard that, this is going to be very low percentage, only 17% silver, known as billion, which is a term we use as coin collectors to call a coin which has less than 50% silver purity. Just closing in on the lot, and we're going to have another 1800s world coin, and it's just going to be a 10 centesimi from Italy from 1866. All right, we're going to finish out this sort, and if I find something else, I'll bring you in. If not, I'll give you a recap on the slot of world coins. Well, only a few coins later, and we're going to have this bad boy right here. This is an 1800s Netherlands once, and you could clearly see it's 1880 something. What's the last digit? It's so worn, I can't even see the last digit. Anyways, what is it? If I could get the coin oriented. There we go. 1881, it looks like. 1881, Netherlands one cent. That's right, what's that? Ninth find on I think, or ninth find through it, other than, you know, our older coins and our better coins, as well as, like, you know, this stuff down here. But anyways, let's continue on to this hunt, and I'll probably just give you a recap. Alright, we finished the story, and let me organize our finds so I could show you what we got. Alright, we have the finds organized, and here, and let me just like go coin by coin as far as the finds here. So you saw we have the 1879 10 centimos, the 1861 Heller, the 1814 token, which out to is one of the finds of the hunts, other than the silver, of course, and some of the other coins. In 1881 Netherlands 1 cent, the 1865 farthing, the Chinese coin from the time of Christ, and then in 1866 Italian 10 centesimi as the older copper. We had 2 silver coins, an 80% silver 1947 Canadian dime, and then a 17%, very low percentage silver Ottoman coin. I think it's a 5 para, we said. And then as far as the other coins, the slightly older ones, we had a 1926 Mexico 2 centavos, a 1907, I believe this is Norwegian, a 5 ore. We had a 1915, I believe, Danish 1 ore. We had 3 Danish 2 ore coins. I think they're like 1902, 1915, and 1920. And the 02 was Christian 9th, and then the 20 and the 15 were going to be Christian the 10th. And then we also have a 1908 Danish 5 ore. This is a Guangzhou, I believe, if I'm pronouncing it right. Let me know in the comments. 10 cash coin. I don't know if it's rare or not, but I know a lot of the Chinese stuff of that era is pretty rare. We have 1902, I believe, Netherlands or Belgium 1 cent, and 1910 Belgium 10 centimes. In 1917, Belgian 25 centimes, and then in 1923, Belgian franc with some holes in it, unfortunately. As far as the French stuff, we got in 1902 10 centimes, and then we got 1924 two of them 1 franc coins, and these are actually issued by the Chamber of Commerce rather than the government because of a coin shortage in France at the time. From Germany, we got 1912 1 Pfennig, a 1911 2 Pfennig, and then a 1924 5 Pfennig from Weimar, Germany. The 1 and 2 Pfennig being from the First Reich, I believe. And then we got a 50 par from Yugoslavia, I believe, or I forgot where it is from. I'll try to put some information. 1925, I don't believe it's silver. A 1920 Cuban 5 centavos. The cool thing about it is that we actually made it for Cuba. And then 1924, I believe 1 cent from Japan, or maybe it's a 5 cent, I forgot. Anyways, as far as the more interesting gold coins, we had a 1942 East Africa 5 cents, a 1964 Jersey 3 pence made out of brass, a 1955 East Caribbean 2 cent piece, a 1962 Australian penny, a couple of Philippine 1 centavos, the large types, the one that we made from, I think a 41 and a 44. A couple of these beautiful 1952 5 francs from French Oceania, super cool. We had a 1965 Libyan 5 millions, I believe is how you pronounce it. A 1998 Georgia 10 of something. You don't see Georgia coins that often. Not the state, the country, of course. A New Zealand 1 penny from 1940. A 1 cent from Ceylon, which was a British colony, which is now Sri Lanka, from 1942. A 1937 French 50 centimes. A 1356 or a 1937 Saudi, a 1/4 of a real, I believe it is. I don't know if it's valuable at all, but it's still pretty nice to see. A 1942 Netherlands 1 cent. A Somaliland coin, 2005. I believe this is a shilling made out of aluminum, very light, but you don't really see or 5 shillings. So you don't really see Somaliland coins too often, so that's pretty cool. Then, you know, we had 1956 El Salvador 5 centavos, a beautiful 1953 10 centavos. I have to say it looks way better in person than it does on camera, and it looks really nice on camera. A 1935 Mexican 1 centavo, a 1931 Iceland, I believe this is a 5 or 5 RR, I believe. Yeah, an older Venezuelan coin in 1945, 5 centavos. We got a proof, I believe this is a West German 2 Pfennig coin. It's a proof, I believe. And then a 1940 Nazi German, Third Reich, 10 Pfennig. And then, you know, we got about 62 cents in face value of American stuff, 20 cents in Panamanian stuff. We got, I think, like 4 British half pennies and like 11 British 1 pennies. We got an older Canadian large cent here from 1918. I think they stopped these in 1920 or so. Then we got 4 Canadian small cents, 2 Canadian nickels, a Canadian dime from 1971. I think actually, going back to the British pennies, I'm sorry, but the oldest British penny we got was 1901, and the oldest half penny we got was 1914, in case any of you were wondering. But anyways, I'm getting off topic here. We have a 1985 Canadian 1 cent. And I think the oldest of these here are going to be 1964. We got 4 of them, 4 Canadian small cents. I don't know what I'm saying. The oldest of the Canadian nickels is 1962. We got a Canadian dime from 1971, and a trash Canadian quarter from 2017, and a trash Canadian loonie from 2013. I'll take a loonie for the price I paid. And then we have 3 ID requests here. This first one here, it looks pretty old to me. It looks like this might be an Italian item, but I have no way of telling for sure. So if any of you could tell me what this is, it'll be greatly appreciated. I think it's, I have no idea what it's saying, but you could see, what it is right here. I'm thinking it's Italian, but I don't know, and then here's the back of it in case you're curious. 20 of something. I don't know if this is a token or a coin. 20 of something with like the wreath. I think it's a token. And then 5 of something here from 1983. I don't know where this is from. It might be Lebanese would be my guess because of the tree. But I don't know. Anyways, it was definitely a nice world coin. Well, it was definitely what I expected for what I paid. And I really hope you enjoy this video. I'd really appreciate you liking this video and subscribing down below and commenting. And remember, guys, happy hunting. And they're still out there for you to find, definitely.